Hello, everyone, and welcome to the final episode of NGamers Checkpoint. And as the sample user says right on the bottom, this live stream is the best. Of course, let me get that out of the way. But welcome, everyone, to the stream. I am Ninja Guy X, and if you don't know what NGamers Checkpoint is a podcast where we talk about the latest news of Netflix games. So very exciting. We're three very passionate people who love talking about Netflix games. Speaking of passionate people, let me introduce you guys to the other people in the panel. So first of all, we've got Sidlon. How are you doing, my friend?
Doing well. Sorry to see this wrapping up, but
yeah.
All in all, not a bad week.
Yeah, awesome. Then we've got NG, Netflix Gamer. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Just can't wait to get this over with. But it's going to be an emotional time. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. It's
Yeah.
that time. It's not my time.
It's such a depressed stream that we were even talking about Young and the Restless and Days of Our Life right before the show. This is how depressed the show is. No,
We're just full of melodrama right now.
yeah, exactly. Now, before we continue on, let's just say hello to the chat. We got a lot of nice people here. We've got Cherry Sung, big fan of Bloon TD6. So welcome, my friend. Hope you're having a nice day or a nice evening. It's pretty late now, or maybe it's the morning for you. Not too sure. We've got Rouster. Says hey all. We've got Granite. He says hi all. Just poking my head in for 5 minutes, then I have to run. It's been busy, so he'll probably catch up the stream a little bit later on. Got Roster says, right on sample user, we should be friends. Got Bulls for Life, welcome my friend, and welcome to the stream. Hope you'll have a fun time. But guys, before we continue on, let me know, what have you guys been playing? And let's start with Sidlon. What, I think I can guess what you've been playing, but let's see if I'm right. What have you been playing?
Yeah, well, I have been completely addicted for about 2 weeks to a game I would not have expected. Hello Kitty Island Adventure.
Wow.
On Apple Arcade. Yeah, I don't. It's a cozy game, and I've grown to like some cozy games, and this is apparently the best of the bunch. It's on Apple Arcade though, but for anyone with the Apple devices, I would say it's worth getting an Apple Arcade trial for 4 months. Just to try out HKIA. On the Netflix front, every month, every night, I've been playing Crispy Street. The hidden item search is still a lot of fun, and I finally, it's been a while, but I finally got to the last image where you can hunt for things.
Wow.
I haven't found all the things yet, but at least I've unlocked all the levels now, and I can go back and try and work through them. And then start doing the daily events that my wife has been doing like every day since Crispy Street came out.
You finally catch up to her. That's awesome.
And the Queen's Gambit. I'm still working through those puzzles.
Very nice. No, it's nice. I've seen some footage of the new Hello Kitty game, and it looks super fun. I would love to give that a try. Hopefully, it comes to Android at some point, so I can give it a try for sure. It looks super fun. What about you, NG? What have you been playing?
Well, this is the perfect time to ask because literally yesterday I was at a friend of mine's house and we literally spent the whole day playing video games together. So let's see, there was Crash Team Racing on the PlayStation 1, there was Gran Turismo 2, there was what was the other games? We was playing Buzz It, the music quiz, that one as well. I also played Sonic Prime Dash as well recently, which is very français, very posh game. It's available on Netflix if you want to check that one out. Yeah, and obviously I've also been doing a little bit of supplying when it comes to the games front with people, because obviously I've been getting back into some game trading, so I've had a bunch of games come through that I didn't really keep. I also did get a copy of Driver 2 Advanced, which is pretty fun. So
wow, well, my friend, you've hit me right in the nostalgia. Crash Team Racing, Driver, these are all games that I grew up with, so that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I got one of the latest things that I did trade was in a bundle was included Crash Team Racing and Driver, so that was fun.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, looking forward to see what else you get out there. I'll keep a lookout. Myself, I've been playing some some Netflix games as usual. I've been playing Sonic Prime Dash, of course, doing the dailies, and then Cut the Rope Daily, of course, doing the dailies there also. I'm sure that you guys have gave it a try. Hopefully you enjoy it, and we'll be talking about it also during the podcast. But yeah, other than that, I've played the Queen's Gambit chess. Actually, yesterday I finished all of the puzzles from every difficulty, and now
nice.
Yeah, they were very challenging at the end, and I really enjoyed that. And now I just need to challenge the actual players and have some fun with that. But they still have a few bugs that they need to figure out, so I might be waiting until they fix that. But we'll see what happens there. Outside of Netflix games, I've been going back into just regular couch gaming without streaming, and I've been having fun. Yesterday, I played a little bit of Valkyria Chronicles, a old school PlayStation 3 games that came out a long time ago, but they re-released it on Switch, PlayStation, and the newer consoles. And then I've been playing some Persona 5 Royale. So it's just the re-release of the game with some extra content. I've been playing it on Xbox Series X via the cloud, so that was pretty fun. So yeah, I've been having a blast off stream. It's been weird not streaming, but it's been fun though. It's been fun going back to the games that I always wanted to finish. So yeah.
I bet you've been playing the games, and then you're looking at your computer screen. You're like, what's the chat saying? And you realize you're not even streaming.
Yeah, I look at my streaming screen, and I'm like, there's a small tears that comes to my eyes, and thought about the nostalgic past. Yeah,
it's a whole different experience playing a game when there's nobody watching.
It is so different. I really enjoy streaming, but so yeah, for the people who don't know who's watching this, actually, this is actually my final stream. I decided to put down the gloves. My streaming career is now over, and we'll be talking a little bit more about it at the end of the stream, but Sidlon and NG convinced me to do this final stream before I end it. But it was a fun time. But yeah, streaming really takes a big toll on you, especially when you're busy with other things. So yeah, but we'll talk a little bit about it a little bit later on during the show. But let's not spend too much time talking about that for now. Let's go ahead and talk about Netflix game news. So we haven't had an episode in about 3 weeks, so we actually have a lot to cover. So let's go ahead and do that. So we'll go ahead and start about all the new games that came out since our last episode. And you know what? There's been a few of them. So let's go ahead and switch that. So the first one that we haven't talked about so far is Too Hot to Handle 2. So I bet Sidlon and NG right now are like, oh my gosh, it's been so long since since we had an episode, because this has been released for quite some time now.
That came out I think it was like July 21st. So that was back when I was still 19. That was like a week before my birthday.
Wow, it's definitely been a while. So Too Hot to Handle 1 came out back in December, and I think that it did so well that it actually released this one just about 8 months after, or 7 or 8 months afterwards. So they were hard on work, and they get that out. So Sidlon,
I'm pretty sure. Well, before you give us Sidlon, I want to say we covered this on the last episode we did, because obviously you got sent a list of top 10 Netflix games, and Too Hot to Handle, the original game, had like 5 million downloads.
Yeah, it was
so it's like. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy that how big of a community there is for this game, that honestly I wouldn't have guessed there were that many people. I knew Too Hot to Handle was popular, but I didn't think that big of a percentage would find the game. But Netflix must be publicizing it well. Just
wait till Love Is Blind gets a game.
Oh my gosh, yes, that would be awesome.
I'll totally be playing, because I love the first season of Love Is Blind, and I need to catch up at some point. Haven't watched Too Hot to Handle yet, but with so many fans, there's no reason not to watch it a little bit and find out.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I've been following the Too Hot to Handle games Reddit, and it's still very active. People are like, "Oh my gosh, this guy is so hot," and things like that. So it's pretty funny. I enjoy looking at it. Some people are really into Too Hot to Handle, and hey, if it's popular, why not make more games, right? So hopefully we'll see some more games about it, and maybe eventually we'll get really into it, all of us also. Who knows, right? Because I do enjoy visual novels, so you never know. Maybe at some point I'll
minimum 5 games. Minimum 5 games in effort.
Yes.
Minimum.
Yeah, 5 games contract. Let's do it. Awesome. So moving on. Sorry, go ahead, Sidlon.
Yeah, I was going to say I haven't gotten around to. I've only played like 20 minutes of the first game so far, but at some point I got to go in and get the experience and of all those chapters. Mm-hmm. I know it's pretty similar to the episodes kind of games that are also really popular.
So yeah, they really did a good job.
I'm going to say straight up, I have my first impressions of both games on my channel, and I'm surprised they did as well as they did, considering what they're about and the amount of times I had to say the word sex when I was reading the videos.
Hmm.
I played the game. I read the whole thing out, obviously, because you do when you're doing the videos. And then I was thinking, like, how is this? I know it's rated 18, but I'm thinking, like, how am I post this on YouTube? I did it anyway. I thought that's for it.
Yeah, that's crazy, and but yeah, hopefully, they keep continuing their relationship with the developers. They're making money, so let's keep. I don't think that they'll say no. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
But hopefully Netflix offers them a big bag and says, either, hey, you either make more games for us, or we buy you and make you
There
make
you
more
go.
games. You want. Well, they're your options.
Exactly. So Rouster is asking, streaming of any games or forever, or just this show? So Rouster, this is actually my last stream of anything. So this is the last video you'll see of me on YouTube. Maybe I'll casually do some streams once in a while, but this is like the last one that is planned. So yeah. All right. So for the next game that came out, and we already talked about it a little bit. It's the Queen's Gambit Chess. So this is a series that came out about 3 years ago. Very popular. It's a show about a girl being the best chess player in the world, and now they have this game. The game is about puzzles. So they give you a bunch of puzzles that you have to go through, and it's actually super fun. You can, after you're done with a puzzle, you can actually go online and play with real people. You have an ELO score, so if you beat more people, your score increase. If you beat less people, you play against lesser good people. So it's an interesting one. The thing is that the game actually has a few bugs, and the developer has been working on it, and they've been talking to us also. So they released a patch this last week, if I'm not. Or was it this week? It might have been this week. They released a patch and fixed a few bugs that people didn't like, but there's still a little list that they're still working on. So looking forward, they're very active. They're looking to support the game. So if you guys are having any issues with the game, definitely wait a little bit, and you'll be seeing some more patches. It's been confirmed that they're working into it. So. NG, you did play the game with me. I'm not sure if you played it outside. What's your thought?
Yeah, I basically, funnily enough, if you go to my channel, you'll see that I've got a video called "We Crashed the Game."
Oh right, I remember that. Yes.
Impression. Yeah, so I'm like, it's less than 10 minutes, thankfully, because obviously I'm not one of those scumbags. But basically, what it is in that video, I was just playing through some of the levels on, like, I think it's like just I don't know what you call. I think you could say missions or whatever. But I got into like the second page of them. I started doing some of them. I thought, I'll do two loads of pages, and then I'll finish the video. But what happened with that was I got into the second mission of the second page of missions, and what happened was it just booted me out of the game. I have no idea what happened. It just booted me out of the game, and you see my thing. I'm like, okay, I'm just ending this here now because it's just keeping me out of the game. But to me, if they can improve on all the bugs, obviously we also did do that stream, and the issue we had was I could see your pieces on the board, but you couldn't see mine.
Yes.
So if they can get those bugs fixed, and make the gap more stable, I think that'd be great long term, and it could become a popular game for Netflix games. But I will also bring up an argument that there's a bit of an issue with this game, and that's the fact that obviously, my brain fart. I just started speaking and I forgot.
Oh.
Okay, I'll move on. It'll come back to me. I'm sure.
Okay.
I can't
Sounds
remember
good.
what I remember now.
Okay.
I was gonna say, if Netflix can release more games that are in this sort of state before they're ready to go live, they will probably get the same reputation Microsoft got with Xbox One, where they had like the core games that everyone like were good, and then every other game was like half baked, half finished before they got pushed out the door. And that's coming from me, and I've always played on Xbox, but to me, I feel like Netflix needs to make sure that there's a bit more quality testing and be willing to push some stuff back if it's not really ready to go live or the bugs are going to crash. Because obviously, I know we'll talk about this later, but WrestleQuest was a game that was supposed to come out yesterday, but it was delayed at last minute because there was a game save glitch.
Mhm.
If Netflix can obviously do that, we'll do it like a little bit sooner, make sure everyone's aware that it's been pushed back a few weeks or a month, whatever. I think that'd be good for them, especially for their PR. I'm sure they'll be delaying games, but they'll also have that sort of goodwill with a lot of their players. So like, okay, well, you want to make sure the product is fully finished before you release it. That's good PR. But obviously, you also get a bit negative. Oh, you should just be delaying stuff. Shouldn't announce if you're going to delay it.
Yeah, nicely said, because Netflix is still learning, and I think that what happened there is probably like a lesson, and maybe they'll try to not enforce, but what's the word I'm trying to say? They're just gonna try to make sure that the release process is smoother without less bug and that. So hopefully we'll get to see that, because I'm sure that they learned their lesson by seeing that, but sometimes it just can't be controlled. But yeah, hopefully we won't see it too much compared to Xbox, like you said, with all these wonky release that they're getting. So that's definitely understandable. So
Yeah.
Sidlon, are you a chess player? Are you
I'm
scared
I
to challenge me?
I'm very scared to challenge you.
Okay.
I've played a little bit since I was a kid. I last year went into some tutorials to like remember how to do some basic games, but I've been playing through the intermediate level of the Queen's Gambit, and I'm really enjoying all the chess puzzles and a couple games so far. Where they're clearly, the AI is going easy on me because it's treating me like a girl in an orphanage.
Yeah.
But no, this is a well done game. Like multiplayer is like one of the hardest things to nail down before a release, I think. And the only real solution is they need to do more closed beta testing. They need a pool of users who can like test it out multiplayer online from all around the world. And that's a thing that all the Netflix games going forward could probably benefit from a big beta testing team. And that's where Netflix can hopefully do something to pull in mobile gamers who'd be willing to test new things. Maybe talk to people on our Discord. Who knows?
Wink, wink.
Wink, wink. But like we've got a bunch of people who like to play mobile games online, who have Netflix subscriptions. If you can pull in some subset of those to be ready for beta testing, they could test the matchmaking and multiplayer modes of everything before it goes live and causes embarrassment. But on the whole, it's a really well done game, and I love the TV shows too. So it's great. We were teased a year ago about this, that it was coming, and it was good to finally see the release. I look forward to seeing everything they keep adding with over time with this.
Yep. Don't get us wrong, for sure. It is a quality game. It's been released by Ripstone Games, and the graphics looks amazing, and the quality, it's definitely there. So personally, I would love the Ripstone relationship to stay, and would love to see some more games coming out of them. Like with Netflix. That's what I want to see. I want to see relationships that just stays there. Like I don't know, what else do they have? Like Gameloft did a few games, and the Asphalt series, and I just want these companies just to keep doing games for Netflix, especially Snowman Studios. They're pretty amazing, and these are the type of relationship I want to keep seeing. So hopefully the developers are happy, hopefully Netflix is happy, and keep getting these bonds stronger.
And hopefully Netflix can build up a lot of the support teams to help out with all the other internal and external games being developed, as they've got a lot of irons in the fire, and Netflix has the budget and the manpower to help everybody out with getting things.
It'd be amazing.
And I don't want to add on to what Ninja said. I do think that what Netflix needs to do is needs to build relationships with developers, right? Especially independent developers. And say if you get to a point where that company is struggling financially, Netflix can then use that they've got a strong relationship with them and go like, hey, we've worked together on this many projects. What if we buy you out and obviously support your work long term? Because obviously, I talk a lot about Netflix buying stuff and whatnot. I do understand that, but the way I see it is like it's better to have the content owned rather than have that content potentially be lost forever.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, I'm all about game preservation, and I know a lot about a lot of game companies that go bust. Their assets are split off, and a lot of companies don't actually end up grabbing stuff. But for example, Bonus XP is a prime example of this. They made the earliest Stranger Things games for Netflix. They're available Netflix games, but Bonus XP recently shut down, and obviously Netflix could have saved them, they could have supported them, they could have fixed that, they could have stopped that from happening. But obviously, to be honest, after the first two Stranger Things games, we didn't ever see Netflix really collaborate with Bonus XP. People bring up the Dark Crystal game, but Dark Crystal was owned by Jim Henson, not Netflix, so it was clearly a deal with both companies. But from what I understand, like that's an example of what they could have done. And this is also similar to other game companies because Nintendo had a similar issue because I think it was like 2018, the game developer Alpha Dream went bust. Alpha Dream was a developer behind the Mario and Luigi's RPG games. And after that, Nintendo realized that they need to secure developers that they've worked with a long time, just in case those developers have financial woes, so they can have like the libraries and have the developers in their house so they can sort it all out.
Yeah, definitely. That would be cool. Yeah, if they could avoid things like that, where the company closed and Netflix just saved them, that would be amazing. I like that idea, and hopefully we get to see that for sure. And I like Sidlon's idea too, where they did have like an internal or even an external QA team that can help out, that can save the developer money. They could just offer services that developers just don't need to worry about and not spend money on. So that's a good idea. Hopefully they can do some stuff like that too, like just help out some not third party, but internal Netflix developers that could help even with the development process, and I think just services that they can offer, which would make this even more attractive. So definitely a good idea. That hopefully that they can make that happen. So we have one last game that came out last week. So it is the one, the only Cut the Rope Daily. So this is a very unique one because if you're not familiar with Cut the Rope, it's a series that came out, maybe 12 years ago or something like that. It's been out for a while, and it built up some.
I think it was 2011. It was 2011.
There you go. And it came and burst in popularity so quickly. It came out on iPhone first, if I'm not mistaken. And people really loved it. I loved it. I finished it 100% so quickly. It was a great game. But it's still out there. It's still gaining popularity. More games, and they made a deal with Netflix and released this one, which is pretty special. The way that it is that every single day there's a new Cut the Rope level that unlocks, and that's the only thing. You only get one level per day, and you have to do it in at the least tries possible. There's no. It's pretty casual. You don't lose anything if you take more tries to do it or anything like that. But the concept is pretty cool. I like that you wake up in the morning, take your coffee, do a little Cut the Rope Daily, and then you go on with your day. It's a cool concept. A lot of people are like, oh, it's annoying because not annoying, but it's unfortunate that if you want to keep playing, you can't because you just get one level. But it's just, I feel like it's just like an additional side thing for Netflix games. It's just a nice extra thing that they've put in for the service, and I like it. What's your opinion on it, NG? How's your view on the game?
Well, to be fair, I did actually jump on this about a day later than everyone else, so I did play the first two levels together. And to be honest, I found the game pretty fun, and it's actually kind of interesting as well because I actually have a really weird knowledge around on Cut the Rope and the developer Zepto Lab. As I watch a video a lot called Terra, and Terra made a video about what killed the Cut the Rope franchise, but he discussed how Cut the Rope never really died. It's more so the fact that the developer evolved to have other successful games outside of Cut the Rope.
Yeah.
And that's why I believe the last Cut the Rope game was, I believe it was as a spin-off game, wasn't a mainline game. And now I've got this game, which is obviously another spin-off game. But it's quite interesting to see this game come back, and it shows that Netflix is also betting big on some quite popular and well-known game franchises. So now we have Sonic Prime Dash, we have Cut the Rope, we have obviously Oxenfree and some other stuff. And obviously we have a bunch of stuff based on Netflix shows as well. So it shows Netflix knows where the market is and knows what's popular and what's not.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it also Cut the Rope Daily is also a nice little addition because obviously it gives everyone a little reason to sign to Netflix every day and play it. And also it could help potentially keep subscribers long term. People who are interested in like Cut the Rope Daily might say, "Oh, I'll pay the $5, whatever it is, for the ad tier," or they'll pay the premium because it's like what you play in Cut the Rope Daily and you're watching 1 or 2 shows or movies a week. That to me makes it seem like it's worth it paying any of the prices that they offer. So that's what I feel like Netflix is trying to do here. And give people a reason to keep coming back, and that I think this is a good reason to come back.
Yeah, that's a good point. And we've got in the chat, Triple Superstar. I love what he says. He says, "You lose bragging rights the more attempts you take." That is true.
It's true.
That is true. Yeah, you. Sometimes I'm like, should I share my score to to the channel? Maybe I shouldn't, but then I do it anyway. So that's a good point. So Sidlon, I believe that there's a Cut the Rope game on Apple Arcade too, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
Yeah, on Apple Arcade they have Cut the Rope Remastered, which is like a refreshed graphics version of the original game. So this is a nice case where it's handy to have both the Netflix and the Apple Arcade subscriptions because you get two very different takes on Cut the Rope. The original pack of levels looking nicer, and here we've got. I see this as Daily is kind of tapping into the Wordle kind of craze, where
Yes.
for a while on every Discord there's a channel where people are just posting their today's Wordle score or 5 other services like that. You've got post your latest score from something that you can only do once a day, and that's what Cut the Rope Daily is. It's like every day everybody does the same thing, and you can compare notes on who did it the fastest and most elegant. And it's like I did one yesterday that was like, it only took 1 try, but I had the most ridiculous looking graph.
Yes. Oh my gosh, let me share that if you don't mind.
I love that you can see your graph of how ridiculous your movements were at the end. And I kind of hope they add a feature to let you share that. Yeah,
Look at
because
this.
because like I was at a point where all I could do was move the vertical slider on the left up and down to try and swing it to hit each of the things that I'd missed along the way. But once I got them all, then I could cut it and it could bounce down and make it into the guy's mouth. But yeah, it for some reason they only make it easy to share the text-based thing of I did it in 1 try, where I can make it look like I was really good at this level when I really wasn't. But this is a lot of fun, and I think this will get a lot of people continuing to play daily. Which the daily engagement seems to be something that Netflix cares about. Like, I don't know how the economics of this library are working, but it seems like they're pretty interested in things that'll keep people coming back daily, much like Apple Arcade is.
Yeah, absolutely. It never clicked, but yeah, like this is definitely like the Wordle take of Cut the Rope. And now that you mentioned that, I bet that there's going to be a lot more games coming out with that idea, right? Like people will be interested in doing their take on Wordle because it is a popular game that not a lot of people has dived into yet. So yeah,
I think a lot of people have text message groups of their friends and family that they like to share their daily snippets like this, and yeah, games like this are perfect to quickly let all your friends and family know,
Mhm.
I aced this, or I totally flubbed this one today, but I got it on the 8th time.
Yeah, it's a good conversation piece also, right? Like, oh, how much did it take you, or what did you do on that part, and things like that. I actually helped out Lefty on the community Discord. He didn't know how to do it, and he didn't want to lose the streak, so I helped him out, and that was pretty cool. Like just a little bit of an interaction there. So moving on, these are the games that we got so far. But there's like one very, very interesting news, and it might tickle the whiskers of the cloud gaming community. So let me jump on that. So I think I heard this first from Sidlon, and he realized that there was a new app, under the Netflix Inc. list here, and it is the Netflix game controller. So it is an interesting one. You know what? Before we start talking about it, let me read the description of it. It says, coming soon to Netflix. Play games on your TV with the Netflix Game Controller. This game controller app pairs with your TV and allows you to play games on Netflix using your phone or mobile device. So I'm going to go with Sidlon here first. I want to hear your thought. What do you think this means, what it is, and what do you think we're getting out of this?
Yeah, it's really hard to tell what they're going to do with this, but we've heard for a while that Netflix is working on games on TV, and we're not exactly sure what that means. We know they're also working on a cloud gaming platform, which could be tied into this, or maybe not yet. I kind of feel like this is going to be they might be starting with games on TV sometime fairly soon, based on this app saying that it looks like it's coming soon in some form. I think right away they're using it for beta testers who could beta test some games that run on a TV, which I kind of assumed that games on TV would initially be something that only supported like smart boxes like an Apple TV or an Android TV. But like so far, this is looking like it's really going to run on like smart TVs that have a Netflix app. I think you're going to play games in that using your phone, iPhone for now, as a controller to let you swipe on your phone with this app running and be able to play games. The big question is what kind of games? If their cloud platform is launching, it could be really impressive 3D games in the cloud. If they're not ready to launch the cloud platform, it may be a bunch of HTML-based instant games like you have on Facebook games now. As Facebook games launch their platform with mostly instant games that are HTML-based, and then a handful of really amazing games like Asphalt played from the cloud. So I think they'll probably do something kind of similar to what Facebook did and like start with a lot of instant games that are HTML based that could run directly on your TV's limited hardware. And then over time add in some cloud games that are really graphically impressive and that are really running on a server somewhere in Netflix's farm. Yeah, it's exciting that they're doing it so soon. Like I really thought we wouldn't see this for another year. Time will tell.
So whenever they let us know what it is, whether it's going to be games you download, HTML5 or cloud, the first thing you're going to say is like, hey, I called it, because you literally said all the possibilities right now that could happen. But that's good,
And one thing I'll say is that I didn't spot that this was launched. Thankfully, we've got our Netflix Gamers subreddit has been growing so nicely. And someone random in the group, I don't remember the name, posted that they saw this game launched.
Let's check it out.
Yeah, and so it's real. Yeah, there's something with the news flag of Who do we give the credit to?
Glibanish.
Okay, well, thank you, Mr. Glabanish. And but like, this is a great thing that we've got this community of people who like Netflix and like to play games on the library. And these are all people who would be a nice beta testing pool to pull from.
Wink, wink.
Because clearly they've got this. We've got the app now that's easy for any testers to get onto their phone. That can then use the Netflix account to sync your phone to any random TV. You don't have to worry about Bluetooth connections. I think this is going to let them just use your phone and the TV you connect to Wi-Fi, and any control buttons I send can go over Wi-Fi to the TV. I just want to play with it, and I'm really curious how they're finding the beta testers for the controller app and whatever games are playable already on the TV. But hopefully they'll pull from a community like this. But they might be able to pull just automatically from like the iOS Netflix app. Like there are people who watch on their iPad, and so anyone watching Netflix on an iPad app, they could detect that and just randomly take a real random selection and just pop up a dialogue when you launch the Netflix app and say, "Would you like to be a beta tester?" They could be doing something like that. Yeah. But I'm just keeping my fingers crossed because I'd love to be a part of helping build this.
Yeah, if one of us makes it, we'll definitely tell each other, because we definitely, want to try to get us all in there, because we're all like super fans. So hopefully we can get in there for sure.
So NG, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm curious. What's your thought on all of this?
Right, well, it's funny because obviously over the last month or so I've been putting out loads of videos about Netflix cloud gaming and what I expect to see on Netflix cloud gaming. And with this news, obviously this controller coming, I will say September is actually the 2-year anniversary of Netflix games that are in the original launch. So I reckon the reason it's come out now is because obviously they're doing the beta testing now and they plan to roll it out in September. Now, when it comes to what games we could potentially see on there, I do think we will probably see some of Netflix's own first-party games be prioritized for it. So take Oxenfree and Oxenfree 2, for example, as two games I expect them to put on their day straight away. Because obviously, Oxenfree and Oxenfree 2, obviously, they were made for PCs originally. Obviously, console ports came later, but they're originally made for PC, and obviously, that Netflix games wants to be if it wants to be a cloud gaming service, then they need to have like the PC versions or like the superior versions of those games over the mobile versions. And if they can put those two games on there, just test it out, just see how it works, then that'd be good. I also think we'll probably see like TMNT, Shredder's Revenge on there, and Dust Neon, all these other games that have console ports and PC ports that also have Netflix mobile ports. That's how I feel like they'll start it out. They might add some of the Netflix mobile games as well later on, but I'm not sure how many of them they'd really be able to put the aspect ratio to, because obviously a lot of them are like played horizontally, and obviously games like Tilt to Handle, Love is a Game, is a horizontal game, but if you want to play it on your TV, it's got to be widescreen. So it's like, how do you fit the aspect ratio? But really, I hope that they do the cloud gaming aspect of it. I think it would be really cool, and obviously the fact you can use your iPhone as a controller. Side note, at the minute it's only iPhone that this is available for, so if you're an Android user, you probably wouldn't be able to use it yet. But if you're an iPhone user, like I know I've got an iPhone and Android, I've got two phones. I'm not a drug dealer, but I've got two phones, so I can use the iPhone to obviously play the games on my TV. I'm curious what smart TVs will support this, or will it be like every smart TV with a Netflix app? Will it be like smart devices as well? Or will it just be only just be like smart, like we'll say like will Samsung be the only one that supports it at launch, or will it be like Samsung, Lenovo, all the big ones, and then if you've got like a smart media device like a Roku or a Fire Stick, then you're going to have issues. Or how
or
are
a
they
PlayStation.
or PlayStation or Xbox.
PlayStation or Xbox, maybe it'll work on them too. Like, because whatever could run on a TV could probably run on all these other platforms.
I will say straight up, I do think there's a higher chance of this working on Xbox and PlayStation, just for the reason that another cloud gaming service called Antstream Arcade just launched on Xbox.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So to me, I feel like Microsoft will probably let Netflix do this, and also there's a lot more deals going on with Microsoft and Netflix overall. Like Microsoft is an advertiser on Netflix ad platform. Microsoft supports tech for Netflix ad platform, and Netflix just licensed Gears of War. to Netflix to become a TV show and a movie. So there's potential there to see like this Netflix allow this, or Netflix be allowed to have this on Microsoft's Xbox. With Sony, obviously they have a lot of work with Sony as well, with Sony Pictures, and they are licensing stuff like Horizon to be turned into a film for Netflix as well. So I think there's a lot of potential there for these apps or for these consoles to sort of come together with Netflix and go, hey, we'll allow you to have your games on our platform. But I do think there would be a caveat with that where they would require them to support the actual controllers for those consoles. Mm-hmm. So that's, to me, like what I think would be the downside of that such thing. But also questions like stuff like Google Chromecast, like would that support it? Because there is a certain controller for the Google Chromecast. I think you know what I mean, Ninja. That was designed to work with Google Chromecasts.
Yeah, whatever do you mean?
Yeah, so I wonder if that will be supported or not.
Yeah. Is that the 4 controllers that I have stored in my storage room here that I don't use anymore?
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. Which one? What console were they for? They was for like what the Nintendo Wii 64 station, right?
Yeah, that's the one. Oh man. But like the thing is, the gaming companies, they're more savage than we think, right? Like in the back, and definitely if Netflix approached Xbox and asked them, hey, can we use our console, can we stream our games on your platform? They'll probably be like, well, we'll do it if you let us stream our games on your platform, right? Like, because Netflix,
to be fair with that. Yeah. Right, to be fair with that, that's a good point. But part of Microsoft's big deal with Activision, and I know this is not really relevant, but basically Microsoft agreed to give every cloud gaming service a free license to stream Activision Blizzard games, Bethesda games, and Xbox Game Studios games. So if Microsoft really wanted to, they could basically go to Netflix and if Netflix went to them and said, hey, can we put our cloud gaming service on your platform? Microsoft might turn around and say to them, well, sure, but we want you to put these games from our catalog on your platform as well.
Yeah,
I feel like that's probably how they could like negotiate a good deal for both parties in that situation, because obviously Microsoft will get more exposure for their games, Netflix will get more exposure for their platform. No, and then consumers get more choice, because then suddenly, I don't know, say Doom 2016 is available on Netflix games and get Xbox Cloud Gaming. You have no reason to not play Doom 2016 after that, but that depends a lot, because these are big companies. Big companies have all these caveats they've got to work out and whatnot. So it's all speculation, but I do think that a deal with them would be quite interesting and quite good. And hopefully, maybe Netflix puts out their own little streaming media player, which just lets you play the games. Like that'd be pretty cool as well.
Yeah. So I see there's some more people in the chat. I just want to just summarize that we're currently talking about a Netflix game controller app that's been released, but we don't know what it is exactly. But it potentially could lead to something cloud gaming related coming soon.
Ninja, we know exactly what it is. It literally has the 3 words on your screen right there: Netflix game controller. So clearly, it's a controller for a film on Disney Plus. Clearly.
Oh man, you're right. I'm wrong, and because of that,
interactive movies all the way.
Because I'm wrong. Exactly. I'm quitting streaming completely, and but no, this is very promising, and I gotta agree with you guys. I talked a little bit about it with my friend Rock, who is a very big cloud gaming person. Like he really likes cloud gaming, and I mentioned to him. Let me get that conversation. I said to him, are you looking to try it, even if it would not come to the cloud? Just because of what he said, he said, oh, it would be cool playing Netflix games on the bigger screen. And he said, my guess is that it would be an app, just like Sidlon says, as in one installed within your TV. So there would be a severe limit on disk space. Ergo, I'd be surprised if it wasn't cloud. I liked what he said because, like you wouldn't be downloading like a bunch of apps, a bunch of games on your TV. It wouldn't be like efficient because that's not what we're used to with TVs, right? Like we just want the one app that manages everything. So his first point where you would just see one app, that makes a lot of sense. And then his second point where, there's not a lot of, well, I'm not sure about all TVs, but there's not a lot of disk space on TVs. So if they would go the route where you would have to download these games, you would have to manage your TV so much. And there's even some games I don't even think it would fit my TV just because of the limited space it has. So I think he has a good point, and I kind of believe that when we'll see it on the TV, it'll most likely be cloud, given what he said. Yeah.
Yeah,
and I'll just say I'll go the other way.
Mhm.
I think the initial thing that we get to play on this won't be cloud gaming. I think it's going to be instant games like Facebook Games has, where they're basically an HTML file is the game, and it'll be like a web browser that you when you click on Angry Birds, it's going to get the HTML version of Angry Birds downloaded, kind of like old Flash games. It downloads it and it renders it, and it's not installed. It's just something you click on and it downloads and renders in a web UI, and you can control it with your phone controller. Like I think they'll start with that.
So
Small
when you're done
games
with your
like
game, like it would completely remove the data that you had for the game.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean that's my hunch. My guess. And they might also let you persist your state by saving a little bit of save game data for that Angry Birds app.
Yeah, or cache
into
right,
your
like
Netflix
that.
cloud.
Yeah.
Into the Netflix cloud, but potentially, so that if you go to a different TV, you might be able to continue your Angry Birds game, or at least see your previous high score. But I think the easiest way to start out is with instant games like that are HTML based, that it can download and just play, and just see if they can get the basics working of, I assume, Wi-Fi connection from your phone to their servers back to the TV, to let you see how bad that latency is, to let you control what's on your screen.
Mm-hmm.
Then when that's fast enough, then they can add the next level of latency of having some of the Netflix game library, having Shredder's Revenge playing on a server somewhere, and having the Wi-Fi controls go to that server, and then the server's video come back to your TV. It's like the next level of complication that I think they'll do after instant games work, where it's all done on your TV.
See, I would agree, but I also want to bring up the fact that there's two big things with that, which I want to point out, which I'm not sure how relevant this would be in an argument, but basically, first of all, Netflix is worldwide. They have servers all across the globe. So, and basically every smart TV comes with Netflix pre-installed anyway. So, doing trying to have it as a separate app would kind of sort of take the mick in a lot of people's eyes, because obviously they've got Netflix already. They want to play them through Netflix. So why do they have to download another app to play them? But I will say as well, this is quite a point, but Netflix has interactive specials and has had them for nearly 5 years. So I feel like Netflix is already sort of understanding how to lower latency on a lot of stuff. So I feel like Netflix has already got the experience with that sort of stuff. So I feel like they could just transition that over to some games. Obviously, don't do graphically intense games first. Do ones that are quite easy and to transition, and ones that where if it's noticeable, it's not gonna massively destroy the experience, say a game like Oxenfree. But then after that, then slowly patch up the lag, try and sort out what you can, smooth it all out, smooth off the rough edges, and then slowly put games like Dust and Neon on there, which is a lot more graphically intense in my opinion compared to Oxenfree, because obviously it's 3D instead of 2D, and obviously you also got the shooting mechanics and stuff. So just slowly transition it from being quite simple games where it's mostly dialogue based and stuff like that, and then move on to stuff where it's more action focused.
Mm-hmm.
After you make sure you iron out all the kinks,
I definitely think whatever kind of games they start with, whether it's cloud or instant, they'll definitely want to start with things that don't rely on quick reflexes. Because early on, there's going to be latency. We don't know how much, but something like Oxenfree, you don't need to react quickly.
Yeah.
if you're able to play that.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
something like Dust and Neon, you definitely do. You've got to be
Yeah.
able to quickly duck and cover and then shoot that thing that was coming after you. But yeah, whatever kind of games they have, you definitely want to start with low latency, like things that aren't latency sensitive. But yeah, can't wait to see whatever is coming. And I think the fact that they made this controller app publicly out to everybody is probably a sign that something is coming publicly in the next month or two. We'll find out. Because I would guess that, like, if it was purely about beta testing the games on the TV, they probably could have gotten this out to the beta testers privately. But like making this a public app that everybody can see probably means they at least want a much bigger pool of testers than they had. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, I could talk about this forever. Like, I still have some stuff to talk about, but we're almost out of time, so I think I'm gonna have to move on to the last news, and then I think we'll have to wrap up some stuff. But it was a really good conversation, guys. Really enjoyed this, and we'll probably keep the conversation going on our Discord. So guys, if you're interested in seeing what we have to say, make sure to check out the Netflix Games Discord, which is in the description of this video. So make sure to join us. Before I jump on the next news, Kubi has something interesting here to say. He says, "Hi friend, hope you well. Hey guys, I found out that Netflix has another game coming out called Minion Masters, which was on Google but shut down and now coming to Netflix. So that's very interesting, Kubi. We're gonna have to check that out. I was not aware of that, Minion Masters. But thanks for that. So check that out. We'll probably give it a look after the stream and definitely talk about it on the Discord also. So thanks for informing us. Very cool news. Okay, so the last news I have here is a community news. So Mary Benig, sorry if I hope I'm not massacring your name, Mary, but it's Mary Benigno Ablaza. She is actually a recruiter from Netflix, and she started a YouTube channel and talk. It's not a Netflix specific channel, but it's a very, very fun channel. She does speak about Netflix once in a while, but it is a focus on cozy games. So it's kind of like a vlog where she first talks about the news of cozy games coming out, and then she talks about the cozy games she's been playing or just regular games. And then at the end, she gives some nice tips about her experience in job recruiting. So very informative, very nice. But I just wanted to mention it because, she is the Netflix recruiter. And not only that, but she's like almost like an image in Netflix. She's called the Fairy Job Mother. And she actually blogs on LinkedIn like very, very often, and she has some really, really cool insight on all of Netflix and everything that's happening around. So, kudos to her for opening up and starting a streaming channel with a weekly news, kind of like a weekly news blog. So definitely check her out. She's awesome. She's really fun and entertaining, and hopefully you get to watch her. And look at that, she has the same background as me, except mine is red and hers is like bluish and pink. So that's pretty cool. But guys, you guys know Mary, right? You're aware of her, of what she does.
She's one of my favorite feeds to read on LinkedIn. She always has good, interesting things to say about gaming and job hunting. So I'm glad to see she's got this series going. Yeah, and it's good to see someone, especially her, focusing on cozy gaming, which is clearly on the rise.
It's perfect, yeah. What about you, NG?
Yeah, I'm aware of her. When I first started my YouTube channel, I was always on LinkedIn looking at different accounts, and she was one of the ones I was always looking at. I still do occasionally browse LinkedIn, and I do always see the person I do follow on LinkedIn, but I don't really interact with anything on LinkedIn. I just sort of like read stuff to see if anything is there that I can use for content, talk about in our videos. And I think, hey, this is quite interesting. But what it is with Marie is obviously she always seems to be quite playful and jokey with her posts as well. So she seems to be quite interactive as a person, rather than be someone that's just sort of like your typical, you know, executive sort of, or someone at Netflix who's just like, oh yeah, I'm here, I do my job, I get paid, go home. Because that's what my problem with a lot of companies, especially, is they have recruiters, they have these like team managers and whatnot, which don't necessarily have a personality. They more feel like, hey, we're here because we're getting paid. I'm corporate. You do what I say, otherwise you're getting fired. But she doesn't seem like that sort of. She doesn't seem like that sort of person. She seems more like the sort of person which you can obviously meet on an online gaming chat and just spend hours 1v1ing on random games. So
exactly. So yeah, definitely. If you're into cozy games, give her a follow. And you know what? Let me put her channel in the chat. Give her a follow if you're interested into cozy games. And yeah, I do recommend her. She's been pretty fun. So guys, that is it for the news. And looks like we're ran out of time for everything else. Today we wanted to talk about how the Bird Box would be a good game to coming out on Netflix and would have an insight from NG, and then we would have talked about every single upcoming game on Netflix. So it would have been interesting, but obviously it would have been a lot to talk about. So maybe keep an eye out. We have a spreadsheet. It's in the Reddit, all of the games. So check it out for sure. There's a nice selection of games.
How many are we sitting at now? How many games are on Netflix now anyway? I lost track.
There were oh, you know what? Let me check. Let me open up the sheets actually and share that with you guys.
It's like 71, isn't it? Something like that.
A total of 70 games. And
okay, that's close.
There is currently 18 games that we know of that's coming up. So yeah, pretty exciting.
The future's looking. There's a bright future for Netflix games.
Yes.
Like whether or not they get exactly the number that they promised for this year, there's a lot of good stuff coming, and I look forward to lots of good discussions on the subreddit and the Discord.
Yeah.
From what I know, when Netflix made a comment about them adding 40 games this year, that would have made a total about 86. So they've got 70 games now, and they've got 18 that we know about. That means we should have about roughly the goal. Even if 2 games are delayed, we should have roughly the goal that they set by the end of the year. So
exactly. So
no matter what, they're giving us good games, and I know there's lots of more good games coming.
Exactly.
So
keep a lookout for sure. All right, guys. So I think that wraps up our episode. The final episode ever on my channel. I never say never, but for people who don't know, I'm actually taking my gloves off. I'm finally stopping doing content creation, streaming, or anything like that. Sidlon and NG convinced me, like I said at the beginning, to do this final episode. Thank you guys for all the support, Sidlon and NG especially, and everybody who's been watching me. But yeah, I know that you guys have some stuff to say, so I'll leave the microphone to you guys.
Sidlon, do you want to go first or do you want me to go first? He's muted. Okay, so basically, guys, this might seem quite interesting, but Ninja is actually someone that I met completely randomly via Twitter because he found one of my YouTube videos. He messaged me on Twitter on an account which I don't really use DMs on Twitter for that account. I have 2 accounts for that. But what basically happened was we were speaking, and obviously I introduced him to Casey Moore, who runs what's on Netflix. We started talking about doing a podcast with Sidlon. So obviously Sidlon was obviously running the subreddit at the time, and we all just sort of hit off. We all sort of become a team. And Ninja's actually one of the most amazing people I've ever met, guys. And this might seem quite ironic to say, but during the time that I've obviously done the show with Ninja and Sidlon, I've actually gone through 2 different breakups as well, and Ninja and Sidlon have both made themselves available to me. They've both spoken to me. and they've encouraged me. So Ninja is genuinely one of the nice people you ever meet. It's kind of heartbreaking that he's given it all up. He's moving on, but I understand what he's told me and said on behind the scenes why he's doing it. It's understandable. He's got to look out for himself, man. He's got to look out for what comes next in his life, and I wish him the best. I want everything. I want him to get everything he wants in life, and hopefully he can continue to grow and evolve as a person and enjoy his life. And maybe he comes back someday. We don't know, but obviously, future's not set in stone. But obviously, until then, Ninja, I think we should all pour one out for you. You're a legend, mate.
Agreed.
You're gonna make me cry. Oh my gosh.
Ninja, thank you so much for organizing this whole thing. I never would have thought I'd even ever do a podcast, but like you were both so experienced with your YouTube channels, and this is a lot of fun getting to know you both while talking about our shared hobby, Netflix games. And NG, thank you for when I had the idea to make a subreddit. Thanks for helping to keep it active. You were like one of the first people, other than me, posting on it, and now we're up to like a much nicer community. Everybody's pitching in things they've heard about Netflix games, and seriously, this has been a great experience with both of you, and I know we're going to stay friends going forward.
Mm-hmm. It is the end of the streaming, but it's not the end of every friendship that I've built up, because all the communities that I've participated while streaming, Stadia, Netflix, or any other, Fall Guys. I did a little bit of Fall Guys. It's I've just met a bunch of amazing people. Socializing wasn't easy during the COVID, and I was able to I am actually surprisingly a very social person, and just the streaming really helped me out coping with the not being able to socialize any other way. So I still ended up making a very nice amount of friends, and probably like the best of friends that I've ever made. So it's been really amazing. I'm gonna stop talking now because I'm literally gonna start crying. But yeah, thank you very much, guys, for the kind words. That was really, really nice. Like I said, never say never. I'll probably stream once in a while for fun, but it's just I'm just not gonna dedicate any shows or any plannings or anything like that, because streaming is actually really, really hard on my brain for some reason. Taking this deciding this wasn't easy for sure, because I love streaming, and what was I gonna say about that? But it's just mental health is also important, and the streaming took a toll on me, so I decided it's time for me to be healthy again, and just be in the background. So you'll keep seeing me on Discord for sure if you're there, so you don't need to worry about that. But it is just the end of the streaming. But yeah, that's all I have to say on my end. Thanks again, everyone, for coming in, and if you want to keep yourself up to date with Netflix games news, just feel free to keep going on to Netflix Gamers channel. I have it in the description below. Check it out. He's always up to date with all the news, so you don't need to worry about that. We all have our Reddit community, we have our Discord community. We have many ways to keep it up to date, so definitely check us out. But until then, guys, thank you so much for watching, and see you never, I guess. But no, that's mean to say. But again, thank you very much, guys, and hopefully we get to see each other some other time. Right.
Thanks, guys. It's been an honor and a privilege.
Right.
Thanks,
thank you, guys.
All the support is appreciated.
Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.